Grace and peace to you from Grace and Peace to You Nuggets here in Lexington, Virginia. Hope you're doing well. Um, there's a battle that's been going on for a few years now uh, between ideologies and I would say also biases, maybe even prejudices between social norms and uh, renovation of ideas as far as the norms of society are actually just going back to because during World War II people were encouraged to use their yards to grow crops because everything was kind of scarce. Well, now there's a trend toward permaculture and using your yards for uh, growing food and herbs, whatnot. And I'm gonna have to move because it seems like this is the mowing time, so you can actually hear the message. And so the trend is got people set in their ways. The previous trend, that is, and comments that I've heard is that we've never lived like this, and reality is God's always doing a new thing, and something to think about. But so I've got a lot of vegetation. We got berries, and which are in the form of tomatoes and cherries and blackberries and goji berries and elderberries, and then I have peppers and have a lot of different herbs, and also have a lot of flowers. And these are extra perennial flowers, and some annual flowers. And there's a few people who would rather it just be a yard mowed and looked a certain way. And I've never been about going along with the crowd and looking a certain way. I've been about practicality and trying to make a difference. And the pollinators, a lot of people who love the beauty of the flowers. And pollinators are various. You have your bumblebees, your wasp, you have your regular honeybees, you have the hummingbirds. Several birds are loving on my sunflower seeds. So you have a lot of different critters that are benefiting from the garden, and even the critters that are eaten up by certain plants, they're benefiting. So there's a lot of stuff going on in the ecosystem that's good. A thing called permaculture, if you want to look it up, is comprehensive about this kind of thing. But why am I telling you all this? It's because there are paradigm shifts in people's realities. There's worldviews. Professor in college called it, in the German, the Weltanschauung, which means worldview. That really drives what you do in life. So I've got a worldview of manicured lawns, put chemicals on your lawns, mow your lawns until you die. Then there's a worldview that I'm very much a part of, is that your yards can be used for more things, like benefiting your family and others and your neighbors, benefiting the entire ecosystem. So, and in my mind, my worldview is that one is more of a aesthetic, not very helpful, and the other is very life-giving in so many ways. And there's a clash there. Well, The ultimate reason I'm sharing this with you is not to have someone jump on my side or someone to refute my side or there to be a clash over this. It's to point out the ultimate clash in life. And that is, there is a real entity called Satan, who the Bible says comes to kill, steal, and destroy, and does not want life to thrive, does not want your life to thrive. John 10:10. But Jesus says, I have come to give life, and life abundantly. That means it flows over, it interconnects, it helps you and everybody else. John 10:10. The thief comes to kill, to steal, and destroy. Jesus says, I have come to give life, and life to the fullest. Well, if Jesus was a historical character, and it's been proven that he was in history, there's actually more manuscript evidence that he was real than anything else in antiquity. If he was real and he said the things he said, then as C.S. Lewis said, he's either a liar, a lunatic, or he's actually Lord, because he equated himself with God. So I encourage you to take the opportunity to do your research and look into this Jesus. Don't look at other Christians, because we fall short all the time. Look at Jesus. And I'm telling you, he will give you life and life abundantly. Whether you're for a mowed manicure lawn or not, doesn't matter. Whether you're for permaculture and using your yard to the fullest, doesn't matter. What ultimately matters is the status of our soul and those around us in the community. And that's where the meat of this message is getting to. I'm hoping and praying that you check out this simple truth that Jesus shared in John 10:10. The thief comes to kill, steal, and destroy, but I have come to give life and life abundantly, spilling over, filling over. Question is, do you want to check it out? Because if that's real, it's real. And life abundantly will make a difference. Grace and peace to you from Grace and Peace to you Nuggets.